Silently gathering evidence of her betrayal, I watched from behind as she FaceTimed me, thinking I was at work. Her shock was palpable when I revealed myself, before walking straight to my lawyer's office. Be me, 38 years old. Living in Sacramento, sitting in doctor's office on a Wednesday morning. Doctor's voice is cold and clinical. Can see the pity in his eyes, though. He drops the bomb that hits harder than a freight train. Stage 4, pancreatic cancer. Terminal. The words blur together as he talks about timelines and percentages. All I can focus on is the end game. 6 months, maybe a year with treatment. Prognosis is grim as fuck. Leave the clinic with trembling hands. Can barely grip the steering wheel. The world outside my car is just a blur of colors. All I can think about is my family. My wife, Linda. Our 2 kids, Ryan and Claire, need to make every remaining moment count. Want to leave them with memories that will last forever? Pull into our driveway. See our 2-story colonial house. Wooden swing gently swaying in the wind. Claire's purple scooter tipped over on the lawn. Just another weekday afternoon. Step inside expecting the usual chaos. Linda in the kitchen. Ryan's video games blasting. Claire singing off-key upstairs. But the house is weirdly silent. Linda? I call out. My voice echoes through the empty house. No answer. Start climbing the stairs. Heart beating way too fast for someone who just got a death sentence. Halfway up, I hear something. A muffled sound. Rhythmic and raw. Coming from our bedroom. First think Linda might be crying. Then freeze on the spot, hand gripping the banister. The sound isn't tears. It's laughter and moans. Then her voice, God, you're amazing. Feel my whole world crumbling all over again. Can't believe this is happening. Pull out my phone with trembling hands. Turn on the camera. Breathing becomes shallow and ragged. Creep closer to the partially open door. Push it open slowly. Scene inside is straight out of my nightmares. Linda tangled in our sheets with some guy I've never seen before. Tall, muscular dude with a tan. He doesn't even try to cover himself. Just smirks when I walk in. Linda doesn't cover up either. Andrew, she stammers. Her eyes go wide. Voice catches in her throat. Her mouth opens and closes like a fish. Searching for words she'll never find. Don't give her the chance to speak. Raise my phone, still recording. Take 2 deliberate steps into the room. Hand is shaking, but keep it steady enough. Happy anniversary, I say. Voice dripping with bitterness. Give 2 sharp coughs to get their attention. Walk out. Slam the door behind me. Collapse onto the living room couch. Chest heaving with rage and despair. Phone trembling in my hands. Rewind the recording. Watch their betrayal play out on screen. Feels surreal as fuck. Today was supposed to be Ryan's birthday party. Linda insisted on having it at home. Small celebration with both sets of grandparents. Kids aren't even here. They're at her mother's house. A sleepover she arranged last night. Now I know why. Stare at the clock on the wall. Watching hours tick down until guests arrive. 6 months left to live. No time to waste on this bullshit. Sit in the quiet living room. Phone heavy in my hands. Betrayal still fresh and bleeding. But rage isn't what I'm feeling. It's something colder, more calculated. Want Linda to feel the weight of what she's done? Not with yelling and chaos, but like a knife sliding between her ribs. Look at the calendar. Ryan's birthday. His gap-toothed smile beams from the family photo. The one magnetized to the fridge. This day isn't about me or Linda. It's about him. About making memories that'll last after I'm gone. Call me weak if you want, I whisper to myself. But this isn't about her. It's about the kids. They don't deserve to carry this poison. Don't want their laughter drowned out by screaming or their memories of me tainted by this ugly betrayal. But Linda? Oh, Linda will pay. Evening comes. House starts filling with voices and laughter. Linda's parents arrive first. Her mom brings a huge tray of homemade shepherd's pie. Claims it's better than any restaurants. My parents show up right after, arms loaded with balloons and presents for Ryan. Linda acts like everything's normal, fluttering around the kitchen and living room, making sure everyone has drinks and food, even kisses my cheek. Like she didn't just destroy our entire marriage. Like she isn't holding the shrapnel of my broken heart. Kids finally get home. Ryan's face lights up the whole room. He tears into his presents. Little hands ripping through bright wrapping paper. Everyone laughing and cheering. For a few hours almost feels normal. Smile for photos. Laugh at all the jokes. Hug Ryan tight when he thanks me for his new bike. But as evening goes on, kids head to bed. Mood in the room shifts. Adults sitting in the living room, sipping wine, sharing stories like everything's fine. Linda perched on the edge of the couch. Her laughter bright and fake as hell. Watch how she crosses her legs, how she gestures while talking. Feel the cold resolve settle in. Wait for a quiet moment. Stand up slowly. Phone in one hand, wine glass in the other. I'd like to make a toast, I announce. Room goes silent. Everyone turns to look at me. Linda freezes. Her smile falters just slightly. To family, I begin. Voice calm and steady. To love, trust, and honesty. Linda's eyes dart toward me. Her smile becomes a tight line. Andrew, what are you? Cut her off mid-sentence. And since we're all family here, lower my wine glass slowly. I think it's only fair to share something honest. Press play on my phone. Room fills with Linda's voice, breathy and unrestrained. Her unmistakable laughter. Screen glows in the dim light. Shows everything. The tangled sheets. The man beside her. Our marriage's death certificate playing in HD. Gasps fill the room. Linda's dad turns pale. Her mom clasps hand over her mouth. My parents exchange shocked looks, eyes moving between screen and Linda. Linda reacts instantly, lets out a strangled gasp. Face turns bright red, scrambles to her feet. Andrew, what the hell are you doing? She hisses, voice rising with panic. What am I doing? I echo. Keep my voice ice cold. I'm being honest, Linda. Isn't that what family is all about? Linda looks around the room frantically, chest heaving as she searches for escape. Her dad stands up abruptly, usually the calm one in the family. Linda, he says, voice sharp with disbelief. Is this true? Dad, she stammers, words catch in her throat. She turns to me, eyes wide with fury and desperation. How could you do this to me? She snaps. To you? I laugh bitterly. No, Linda, this isn't about what I did to you. This is about what you did to me. To our family. Linda looks like she wants to disappear. Her mom just keeps shaking her head, face twisted with disappointment. My dad leans back in his chair, expression grim as hell. My mom whispering prayers under her breath. I'm done, I say. Voice cuts through the chaos. Done covering for you. Done pretending? If you're going to betray me, least you can do is face the truth. Linda doesn't respond, just grabs her purse, bolts for the door. Her footsteps echo down the hallway. Front door slams shut, leaves behind stunned silence. Sink back into my chair, feel no satisfaction, just a quiet sense of finality. Truth is finally out. After guests leave, house falls into uneasy silence. Can hear the kids breathing upstairs. Only reminder of the innocence I'm trying to protect. Sit on the couch, stare at empty wine glass in my hand. Weight of what I've done pressing down. Linda hasn't come back. Part of me hopes she won't. But life has other plans. Almost midnight when I hear it. Soft hum of her car pulling into driveway. Car door slams. Hesitant footsteps on the porch. She's back. Stay where I am. Don't bother getting up. Front door creaks open. Andrew, she calls softly. Steps inside. Voice shaky. All that confidence from earlier gone. Are you still awake? Don't respond. Just turn to look at her. Eyes all puffy. Makeup smeared everywhere. Clutching her purse like a shield. I came back to talk, she says. Voice breaking. To apologize. Apologize? I ask flatly. For what? Cheating, lying, or embarrassing yourself in front of your parents? She flinches, hands trembling as she puts purse on table. For everything, she says quietly. I messed up, Andrew. I know I did. Scoff at her words. Bitterness rising in my throat. You didn't just mess up, Linda. You destroyed everything we built together. Tears well up in her eyes. Think I see actual remorse there. Doesn't matter anymore. I don't know what came over me, she whispers. I felt lost. Trapped? I wasn't thinking. I know I hurt you. But I want to fix this. For the kids. For us. Her words might have moved me once. Now they're just hollow. Spent years trusting her. Building a life around her. All for nothing. But despite my anger, no, I can't let resentment consume my remaining time. Linda, I say. Voice gets softer. I don't think you understand what you've done. You didn't just hurt me. You broke the foundation of our family. But I'm not here to fight anymore. I don't have the energy. What do you mean? She asks. Voice trembling. Mix of confusion and fear. Take a deep breath. Words I've been dreading saying aloud. Form a lump in my throat. I went to the doctor last week, I begin. Grip the armrest of the couch. They found cancer. Pancreatic. Stage 4. Linda gasps. Hand flies to her mouth. Oh my God, Andrew, no. That can't be. It is, I say. Keep tone matter of fact. 6 months. Maybe a year if I'm lucky. Her knees buckle. Sinks into chair across from me. Why didn't you tell me? She whispers. Tears streaming down her face. Because I didn't want this, I say. Gesture between us. Didn't want the last months of my life to be consumed by anger, betrayal. This mess, I was trying to hold it all together for the kids. But then you, stop, shake my head. You shattered everything. Linda sits there, stunned into silence. First time in years, she looks small, vulnerable. Andrew, she finally says, voice breaking. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I was selfish. I can't lose you. Lean forward, lock eyes with her. Keep my gaze steady. You already lost me, Linda. But the kids haven't, and I'm not going to let them suffer because of your choices. What do you want me to do? She asks, voice barely a whisper. Here's the deal, I say. Keep my tone sharp and deliberate. You stay. You pretend this never happened. You make the next months good for them. Happy, peaceful, no fighting, no drama. After I'm gone, you can do whatever the hell you want. But until then, you owe them this. You owe me this. Linda's eyes widen. Her expression shifts between shock and guilt. Andrew, it's not a request, I say firmly. It's the only way this works. You've already taken so much from me. Don't take this too. She nods slowly, tears flowing freely down her face. Okay, she says, voice cracking. I'll do it. I'll make it right. For the kids, I promise. Lean back in my chair, exhausted to my bones. Good, because this is the only chance you get. Linda stays in her chair, hands clasped tightly in her lap, like she's afraid to move. For a moment, think about the life we once had, the dreams we shared, the love that faded away. But that's all gone now, replaced by quiet understanding of what needs to be done. I'll sleep in the guest room, she murmurs. Stands up slowly. If that's okay, fine, I say. Don't look at her. As she walks away, feel strange sense of closure. This isn't forgiveness. This isn't love. It's a ceasefire, a temporary truce for the sake of two people who matter most. My time is running out, but I'll make damn sure when it does, my children won't carry the scars of their parents' mistakes. Days that follow are weirdly peaceful. Linda plays her part well, puts on perfect show of being doting wife and mother, like nothing ever shattered between us. I lean into my role too. Father with limited time, pour myself into every moment with Ryan and Claire. Take trips to the local park, play endless rounds of board games, try baking cookies together, somehow manage to set off smoke alarm. Kids laugh their heads off. Flour and chocolate everywhere, all over their faces. They have no idea about the cracks beneath the surface. Every night when I tuck them in, hold on to their laughter, burn it into my memory like a lifeline. One evening after kids are asleep, slip out of the house, drive to meet someone I trust completely. My old friend and lawyer, Henry. He's waiting in his office. Quiet corner. Can hear the faint hum of city life through the window. Andrew, he greets me. Expression mix of concern and professionalism. You sounded serious on the phone. Nod as I lower myself into chair across from him. It is Henry. Need your help making sure my children are taken care of. After I'm gone, his face softens. You've already got a will, Andrew. Is there something specific you're worried about? Lean forward. Keep my voice low and deliberate. Linda, Henry raises an eyebrow. Your wife? Yes, I say firmly. Need to make sure a majority of my assets, our home, savings, everything goes to the kids. Can't trust her to do the right thing. Henry frowns, steeples his fingers thoughtfully. Are you sure about this? Changing distribution of assets in a will. It's a big step, especially excluding your spouse. Sigh heavily, weight of decision pressing against my chest. Henry, she's already proven she can't be trusted. What do you think she'll do once I'm gone? Want Ryan and Claire to have a future, one that isn't squandered by her selfishness. Henry nods slowly, pulls out his notepad. Okay, let's talk specifics. Can create a trust for the children. Appoint someone else to manage it until they're of age. That way their inheritance is protected. Do it, I say without hesitation. Want everything locked down tight? No loopholes. Henry studies me for a moment, jotting down notes. I'll make it happen. But Andrew, this isn't just about money, is it? Lean back in my chair, let out heavy breath. No, it's about ensuring they have something solid to hold on to after I'm gone. She's already taken enough from them. Drive home feeling heavy. Think about the cold truth of my marriage. Linda's betrayal wasn't just about me, extended to the children, whether she realized it or not. Her lies, her disregard, the way she carried on, like her actions wouldn't ripple into their lives, all spoke to her selfishness. She treated them like props in her carefully constructed facade of family life, just like she treated me as a reliable accessory. Realization stings, but also strengthens my resolve. Won't let her failure as a wife bleed into her role as a mother. For their sake, have to ensure she stays in line, at least for now. That night, sitting in kitchen sipping chamomile tea, Linda walks in, hesitates in doorway, face uncertain. Andrew, she begins softly. Do you need anything? Medicine, maybe? I can run to the pharmacy? If you're out of anything, look up at her. Try to find any glimmer of sincerity. There's something there, maybe shadow of guilt. Doesn't matter anymore? I don't need anything from you, Linda, I say evenly. Set my mug down. Just fulfill my request for the children. That's all I ask. She nods, expression strained. I will, she whispers. I promise. Don't reply. Just pick up my mug. Walk past her. Retreat to quiet sanctuary of living room. She might keep her promise. Out of guilt. Maybe out of obligation. Don't care about her reasons anymore. All that matters is end result. My time is running out, but I'll leave knowing. Future is secure for them. If not for us, house is completely silent, except for soft ticking of grandfather clock in hallway and occasional creak of floorboards. Kids are asleep, their dreams untouched by the storm beneath this roof. Linda's retreated to guest room. I'm alone in master bedroom, staring at ceiling. As hours crawl by, sleep has become a stranger. Most nights just lie awake, thoughts spinning in endless circles. My diagnosis: Linda's betrayal, the fragile peace I'm struggling to maintain. For the kids' sake, it all churns in my mind, refusing to let me rest. Turn over, reach for phone on nightstand. Glowing screen shows 2:47 a.m. Sigh and rub my face. Dark circles under eyes. Testament to weight I'm carrying. Sleep used to be an escape, brief respite from world's demands. Now it's just a luxury, slipping through my fingers. No matter how hard I try to grasp it. Sit up. Legs dangling off edge of bed. Stare out window. Moon casting pale glow over backyard. Old wooden swing set standing motionless. In cold night air, can almost hear Claire's laughter. The way it rings out, when I push her higher than she thinks she can go. Memories like that keep me going, even as reality of my limited time presses against me like suffocating weight. Try to focus on practical matters. Meeting with Henry brought sense of direction, but there's still so much to do. Ensuring kids' financial security. Only one piece of puzzle. Need to leave them more than money. Need to leave them a legacy. Memories they can hold on to when I'm no longer there to guide them. Grab notebook from drawer beside me. Start writing letters to kids, filled with advice. I might not live long enough to give in person. To Ryan, write about strength. Not kind that comes from muscles, but kind that comes from standing tall. In face of adversity, tell him to protect his sister. Never let her feel alone. Remember that kindness isn't weakness. To Claire, write about courage. Remind her that world will try to box her in. Try to define her, but she has power to break free. Tell her to always stay curious. To chase things that set her heart on fire. To never doubt her worth. Hours pass as I write. Words spilling out in cathartic rush. By time I set pen down, first light of dawn creeping over horizon. Stare at pages in front of me. Feel both lighter and heavier. Doing what I can. Still feels inadequate. Next steps haunt me. Can I keep up this facade of peace until the end? Will Linda honor her promise? Or revert to old ways soon as my back is turned? Questions gnaw at me. Their answers hidden in shadows of future. Stand up and stretch. Joints protest after hours of sitting still. Exhaustion that eluded me all night. Finally starting to settle in. No sleep won't come easily though. Wander into kitchen. Pour glass of water. Coolness soothes my dry throat. Linda's voice startles me. Can't sleep? Turn to see her in doorway. Hair all messy. Expression uncertain. No, I say flatly. Don't bother elaborating. She steps into kitchen. Keeps her distance. Me neither, she admits. I've been thinking about everything. Good, I reply. Tone sharper than intended. You should be, she winces. Doesn't argue though. Andrew, I don't know how to fix this. Fix it? I laugh bitterly. There's no fixing this, Linda. You don't get to undo what you did. Best you can do is make sure kids come out of this unscathed, she nods. Eyes glistening with unshed tears. I'll try, she whispers. For them, don't respond. Don't trust her words. Not entirely. Too tired to argue, as she retreats back to guest room. Lean against counter, stare into darkness outside. Kitchen clock hits 5 a.m. Finally crawl back into bed. Mind no quieter than before. Stare at ceiling. Thoughts returning to same unanswerable questions. My life slipping through fingers. All I can do is hope. What I leave behind will be enough. Next morning. Drive to my mother's house. Short drive, but feels like eternity. Weight of what I need to tell her, pressing against my chest, making each breath a labor. My mother, Marie, always been my rock. Firm but loving, wise but never overbearing. If anyone can handle the truth, it's her. Find her in garden when I arrive, pruning her beloved hydrangea bushes, along front of house. Looks up as I park. Smile breaks across her face. Andrew, this is a surprise. Force a smile. Step out of car. Hug her tight. Familiar scent of jasmine. Her favorite lotion. Calms me for a moment. Mom, can we talk? I ask. Voice heavy. Her smile fades slightly. Searches my face. Of course, sweetheart. Let's go inside. Sit at kitchen table. Scent of freshly brewed coffee fills room. Mom hands me a mug. Her hands linger on mine. You look tired, she says softly. What's going on? Take deep breath. Stare at swirling steam in my cup. Mom, there's a lot you need to know. Tell her everything. Linda's betrayal. The video, tense truce we struck for kids. Her expression shifts from shock to sorrow, hands gripping edge of table. You showed that video in front of everyone? She finally asks. Voice mix of disbelief and something like pride. Andrew, I was shocked, but I can't say she didn't deserve it. I didn't know what else to do, I admit. Voice cracking. I needed them to see the truth. Couldn't keep pretending. She reaches out, covers my hand with hers. You did what you had to. I'm so sorry you've been going through this. Hesitate, unsure if I should tell rest. But I have to. I need her help. Mom, there's more, I say, voice barely above whisper. I've been sick, going to doctor regularly. Sometimes I'll need to be away for appointments. Her face tightens with concern. Andrew, how sick are we talking? Avoid her gaze, not ready to reveal full truth. It's manageable, I lie. Don't worry, I'll be fine. But I need your help with the kids. Need to know they'll have someone to turn to, someone they can trust. Her eyes glisten with unshed tears. Squeezes my hand tight. You don't even have to ask. Of course I'll take care of them. They're my grandchildren. Spend next hour discussing practicalities. She offers to pick kids up from school. When I have appointments, even volunteers to spend more time at house. If things become overwhelming, her unwavering support eases some burden. But guilt of not telling her full extent of illness lingers like poison. As we wrap up, she stands, pulls me into tight hug. Andrew, you've always been the strong one, holding everything together, but it's okay to lean on others now. Let me help you. Thank you, Mom, I say, voice thick with emotion. I don't know what I'd do without you. You don't have to do this alone, she whispers. And Andrew, if you ever need to tell me more, I'll be here. Not unable to speak, pull away. Weight of my secret presses heavier on chest as I leave her house, but also feel flicker of hope. My mother has always been my sanctuary. Now she'll be the children's too. Months pass like leaves falling from tree. One by one, faster than I can count. Leaving behind stark and barren reality, at first cling to rhythm of family life, drawing strength from children's laughter and support of my mother. But as days turn to weeks, my body starts betraying me in ways I can't ignore. Illness been creeping at edges of my life, a shadow I could pretend wasn't there. Now it's stepping fully into light. Fatigue becomes bone deep, makes simplest tasks feel insurmountable. Pain is worse, sharp, unrelenting. Constant reminder of countdown I'm on. Try to shield kids from my struggles. Plaster on smile even when standing hurts. Play with Ryan. Help Claire with her homework. Tell stories at bedtime. But they're not blind. Ryan starts asking questions. Dad, are you okay? He asks one evening. I'm leaning heavily against kitchen counter. You seem tired all the time. Ruffle his hair. Force a grin. I'm just getting old, buddy. Happens to the best of us. He frowns, clearly not buying it. Doesn't press further, though. Claire, on the other hand, has grown quieter, her sharp eyes watching me more than usual. Know she senses something wrong, even if she can't put it into words. Linda, to her credit, has maintained her end of truce, being attentive to children, making effort to keep them happy and engaged. But between us, air remains cold and distant. She knows I'm deteriorating. Signs impossible to ignore. One evening, she finally brings it up. Andrew, she says hesitantly, standing in doorway of living room. You're not looking well. Shouldn't you be resting more? Glance up from photo album I'm flipping through. Energy too drained for irritation. Rest doesn't fix this, Linda. You know that. She bites her lip, hands twisting nervously. If there's anything I can do, anything at all. Shake my head, cut her off. What I need from you hasn't changed. Just keep the kids happy. That's all I care about. Her shoulders sag, but she nods. I will, she whispers, before retreating. Her presence lingers like phantom, but don't have energy to address it. Focus remains on children, and dwindling time I have left. Try to shield kids from my struggles. Plaster on smile even when standing hurts. Play with Ryan. Help Claire with her homework. Tell stories at bedtime, but they're not blind. Ryan starts asking questions. Dad, are you okay? He asks one evening. I'm leaning heavily against kitchen counter. You seem tired all the time. Ruffle his hair, force a grin. I'm just getting old, buddy. Happens to the best of us. He frowns, clearly not buying it. Doesn't press further, though. Claire, on the other hand, has grown quieter, her sharp eyes watching me more than usual. Knows she senses something wrong, even if she can't put it into words. Linda, to her credit, has maintained her end of truce, being attentive to children, making effort to keep them happy and engaged. But between us, air remains cold and distant. She knows I'm deteriorating. Signs impossible to ignore. One evening, she finally brings it up. Andrew, she says hesitantly, standing in doorway of living room. You're not looking well. Shouldn't you be resting more? Glance up from photo album I'm flipping through. Energy too drained for irritation. Rest doesn't fix this, Linda. You know that. She bites her lip, hands twisting nervously. If there's anything I can do, anything at all, shake my head. Cut her off. What I need from you hasn't changed. Just keep the kids happy. That's all I care about. Her shoulders sag, but she nods. I will, she whispers. Before retreating, her presence lingers like phantom, but don't have energy to address it. Focus remains on children and dwindling time I have left. Day begins as unremarkable as any other, though wake with unsettling awareness. Something's different. Body already frail and uncooperative. Feels heavier than usual, like weight of world pressing down. Pain that's become constant companion. Sharper today, more insistent, cutting through every thought and movement. Force myself out of bed. Every step feels like battle. Linda's in kitchen, preparing breakfast for kids. She glances at me as I enter. Face shows concern she rarely lets slip. Give her brief nod. All I can muster, shuffle toward living room, where Claire and Ryan sit, their laughter filling air. As they play game together, for fleeting moment, their joy pierces fog of my discomfort. Sit with them, watching, smile faintly when Ryan makes particularly triumphant move. Claire catches my eye, grins, her gaze filled with love so pure, it almost breaks me. Hours pass in blur. Mom arrives to help with lunch, her presence steady and calming as ever. Lean heavily on her, pretend to be engrossed in conversation, while fighting growing dizziness. Linda unusually quiet, her eyes darting toward me more often than usual. She knows, just as I do, I'm nearing the edge. By time dinner comes around, can barely keep head up. Children chat excitedly about school projects, their voices comforting hum. That anchors me. Try to eat. Find even lifting fork is exhausting. Mom notices. Her hand reaches out to steady mine. Andrew, she says softly, eyes filled with worry. Maybe you should rest. Want to argue? To insist I can keep going. But truth is undeniable. Nod. Voice too weak to protest. I'll lie down for a bit. Walk to room feels like climbing mountain. Each step monumental effort. Legs trembling beneath me. Linda appears at my side, her hand lightly brushing my arm. Do you need help, she asks. Voice hesitant. I don't need anything from you, I murmur. Voice lacks sharpness it once held. Just make sure kids are okay. She says nothing, but feel her presence linger. As I collapse onto bed, room spins as I lay there, pain in chest now unbearable. Try to focus on breathing, to steady chaos inside me. But it's no use. Body is failing. Can feel it happening. Darkness comes slowly, creeping in at edges of vision. Thoughts turn to Claire and Ryan. Their smiles, their laughter, way they hug me so tight at bedtime. Think of my mother, her unwavering strength, and Linda, woman I had loved once, whom I lost 1,000 cuts. Tears slip from corners of eyes. As reality of departure settles over me, there's so much I still wanted to do. So much I'll never see. Won't be there to teach Ryan how to shave, or walk Claire down aisle. Won't be there to comfort them when life becomes hard, or cheer them on when they triumph. Sudden wrenching pain tears through chest, pulling me from thoughts. Gasp. Body seizing. As darkness grows thicker, somewhere in distance, hear Linda's voice calling my name. Frantic and high-pitched, footsteps thunder down hall. Then Mom's voice joins hers, urgent and commanding. But it's too late. Last thing I see, faint outline of photo frame on nightstand. One of me and kids at park, their faces glowing with happiness. My breath rattles. As I cling to that image, let it carry me into void. And then there's nothing. When paramedics arrive, house filled with stunned silence. Linda stands frozen in doorway, hands covering mouth, while Mom holds children tightly, shielding them from sight of their father being carried away. My death was bitter, not because of pain, but because of unfinished business. It left behind the memories unmade, the words unsaid, but even in bitterness, there was quiet hope that I had done enough to prepare them for what was to come. The rest was out of my hands.